Taylor Swift takes over the takeout. What do I mean by that? Well, we did a segment about Life of a Showgirl on the main show. And I said, we're going to have a longer conversation. And so we're going to have this longer conversation now with three of my esteemed CBS colleagues, all PhD level scholars in the life, the lyrics, the incredible popular culture phenomenon that is Taylor Swift. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves like a regular podcast. Like they're going to start with who they are and where their Taylor Swift story began. While we're doing this, you might notice or you might see some video of my socks because I'm not wearing shoes. Why am I not wearing shoes? Because I've heard enough about Life of a Showgirl to find out this is a light, bouncy, sort of comic or comically inspired Taylor Swift album. So I'm trying to be a little more informal. And the only part of my entire wardrobe that has any orange in it at all, and I know that's thematically important, my socks. So there you go.
Well done.
So, to my left, introduce yourself and tell us how your Taylor Swift journey began.
My name is Gabby Ake. Good to be with you, Major, and you guys, Nancy and Olivia.
Gabrielle, but we know you as Gabby.
Yes, most people around here know me as Gabby. I am a White House producer, so I work with all of you guys pretty regularly, but this is my first time on camera.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so
and
this
we're
is very
so glad
exciting.
you're here.
Perfect topic for me to be talking about because my Swifties study started back in 2006. So I am actually at the PhD level of study when you think about, years for a PhD.
You're a professor emeritus.
I'm a professor emeritus, yes. I could be teaching, the class, let's be real. And when you've been with Taylor that long or she's been with you that long, you really get to know her. But 2006 is when Taylor's debut album, Taylor Swift, came out, which is, when I was introduced to Taylor, I was in middle school hearing rumblings of this Taylor Swift, like, oh, she's got these really cool songs, Tim McGraw, should have said no. But I think when I was fully fledged became a Swiftie was probably Fearless when that came out in 2008, right when I started high school, and she was singing about things that are happening in high school, and I'm going in as a freshman in high school, right? So it kind of felt very it's kind of been that way for me in my entire life, where Taylor's singing about things and releasing albums about things that are happening in my life based on our age gap. So.
And you've been to shows.
I've been to a couple of shows. I went to Eras Tour and the Reputation Tour and the Speak Now tour.
And you have met?
I have been privileged enough to meet Taylor at a meet and greet ahead of her Washington, D.C. show. Yep, there I am. There's me and Taylor. On the right there is my best friend Casey, who, I would consider her my Abigail, who is the name of Taylor's best friend from high school. And then on the left is my dad as well, who got kind of dragged in by Taylor for the photo. He was not originally going to pose for it, and she literally insisted. So
not only insisted, bring back the photo.
Yes, she insisted.
Dad being in the photo, but Dad having the special T-shirt.
Yes, back in 2011, this is what you did. You made a tie-dye T-shirt and you covered it in puff paint. So we made one for my dad as well, who was attending the concert with us, and it says, "I'm a chaperone, Dad," which was a callback to a joke that she made about dads that were going to her concerts. And he was not going to pose. He was standing in the corner of this little room that they had us in for the meet and greet. And she's like, "No, come in, Dad. Come on in." And Casey and I were like, "Well, he has a shirt like ours too," because he's wearing a button down over his. And she was like, "Oh, you have to wear the shirt." And my dad was like, "No, I'm not going to wear the shirt for the photo." She stared at him. She was like, "You're going to wear the shirt for the photo." And he was like, "Okay, I'm wearing the shirt for the photo. Taylor Swift says so."
Command presence on and off stage.
Command presence on and off stage. So, but yes, I was lucky enough to meet her in 2011.
Olivia Rinaldi, I know you, but introduce yourself and where did your journey begin?
Yes, Olivia Rinaldi, White House reporter, producer, longtime Swiftie, 2006 as well, same as Gabby, so Teardrops on my guitar, that era, totally. I was in 6th grade and just absolutely loved her. Since then, Fearless, Speak Now, Red. I have been to every tour of hers except Reputation. I was in college and I was studying abroad, so I wasn't able to go. But I think Gabby just kind of hit the nail on the head, where she just speaks to you as a girl and as a young girl and about your experiences. I don't have a sister. I don't have an older sister, but often going through the phases of life that you do, issues with friends, breakups, issues at work, there's always a Taylor Swift song. There's literally one for every situation you're gonna be in your life. How much can this woman go through to all of our benefit? So here we are with Life of the Showgirl, and she's in her engaged era. As we all know, I had that video where I was very excited about that. Also in my engaged era, so it's an exciting time to be a Swiftie.
You are tracking right along with her.
Yeah, you know, we've always been kind of moving at the same pace, so it's great.
Nancy Cordes, how did your Taylor Swift journey begin?
Well, Major, I'm also a member of the White House unit. I don't know what's in the water at the White House that is breeding these Swifties, but I think it's probably that it's an escape from
And people
the
should know.
intensity of
People
what
should
we
know that the
cover.
White House booth is a very small place to work.
It is smaller than this table.
It's smaller than this
basically.
table.
Really, it is very
So any
small.
conversation that one person has with another person is heard by everyone in the booth. And that can be sometimes 3 people, 4 people, on a really busy day, 5 people.
Yeah.
But whatever you say is shared and everyone knows what everyone's talking about. So if it's a Taylor Swift conversation, everyone's in on it, whether they want to be in it or not.
Yes, and we, you know, it's good to have people to share your passions with in a space that small. So we talk about Taylor a lot. I've always loved her, but I think it was really the 1989 album that kind of made it a family affair for our family. It was when my kids had just started elementary school, and I remember so vividly driving to school every day with them in the backseat, and all of us just like belting out Shake It Off and Blank Space and Style at the top of our lungs. And so it was this really like communal experience, and then it just went from there to the point where now my daughter is 16 years old, almost 17, and we're still singing together, except that she's old enough now that we're dissecting the songs together, and we're talking about the concerts, and so it's, you know, it's really been sort of, she's someone that's been there with us throughout the whole evolution of our relationship.
Unless those of you watching on YouTube or listening on the
Oh, look, there
podcast.
she is.
Yeah, there we go.
That's Lila at the 1989 concert. There's my son, Noah. He'll be thrilled when he finds out that I provided you with this photo. He'll be so delighted.
No, it's
Just what a
going to live on
15-year-old
forever. Just know that.
Just what a
know that.
15-year-old boy wants to see.
But lest you listening in the podcast world or watching on YouTube think, oh, okay, this is just stuntery on Major's part to try to jump on the Taylor Swift bandwagon. I'm not trying to jump on the Taylor Swift bandwagon, but I do believe life is about enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. There are those who study this and who say enthusiasm is worth 25 IQ points in life. And Taylor Swift creates enthusiasm.
Yep.
She genuinely does. I could go through all of the various metrics that show she is a global and super important, numerically defined pop star, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about enthusiasm that crosses over into how people talk about and enjoy their lives, which is ultimately what creates longevity. And if anything can be said about Taylor Swift, she has a kind of longevity that she's earned. You can see it in album sales, downloads, and all those other things. But I know you all are enthusiastic about it. And I believe things that create enthusiasm are worth discussing and harnessing. And that's why I wanted you to be here.
Amen.
Because you're all in on it.
Yeah.
And it's been a family experience. It's been an individual experience. It's been a life experience. And that seems to me to be something worth keying on. And this album is already a record breaker, a shattering success commercially.
It is. 4 million copies and counting. Hard copies of her album, which is a new record, beat a long-standing record that was held by Adele for about a decade. And the reason that that is so impressive is because Adele's record was set before streaming was the force that it is today. Now people don't go out and buy an album or order it online. They just listen to it on streaming. So the fact that the album has been this record-shattering, you know, at this point in time is really a milestone. And I think it's partly because, as you said about enthusiasm, Major, she has always been willing to peel back the curtain on the good, the bad, and the ugly, and be really open and really honest about the things that are going on in her life. And her lyrics are specific, but they're also universal. And so even if you're hearing her tell a story that, you know, is happening to her, you can relate to it in some way. And I remember listening to Tortured Poets a couple of years ago, or last year, just last year, and thinking, I've been through that. I've been through that. Oh, I've been through that. Oh, I remember that feeling. And, you know, especially as a woman, but I think a person of any age, you hear it and you go, I had something like that happen to me, or my child had something like that happen to them, or my friend had something like that happen to them, and that sucks you in.
Yeah.
And I am not a Swiftie by any stretch of the imagination. I have never until today, in preparation for this, ever listened to a Taylor Swift album from beginning to end. I listened to The Life of a Showgirl twice to get ready for this. I went to the movie because I was curious about it.
Did you?
I did. My wife and I went to the movie.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. And I'm like, oh, I guess I do know some of those songs. But I had not identified them. I hadn't linked them up with Taylor Swift. So I am
went
the
to
most
the Eras
casual.
Tour movie. You
Yeah,
went to the Eras Tour movie. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a commitment,
I'm among
too.
the most casual
Yeah, that's a
Swift.
big commitment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm among the most casual Swift fans you could find out there. I'm sort of notionally aware of it, but it doesn't rock with me emotionally that it clearly does with you. However, because I listened to the album and you all were curious, I do have 4 of the songs that I like. I mean, that I thought are really good.
Good.
Yeah.
And I'd like to tell you about them.
We want to hear about them.
So the first is Elizabeth Taylor. And there's a reason for that. That has nothing to do with Taylor Swift or the lyrics, but my mother, who passed away in 2014 at the age of 83, when she was young, both fortunately and unfortunately for her, she was often compared with Elizabeth Taylor. Wow. People thought she looked like Elizabeth Taylor. And there was a fortunate part of that, there was an unfortunate part of that. In the 60s and 70s, to be thought of as someone who looked like Elizabeth Taylor got you a lot of attention, some of it welcome, some of it quite unwelcome.
Sure.
And my mother had to juggle all that in the workplace. She was an executive with AT&T. One of the great advantages of my life growing up was that I had a mother who took a briefcase to work and was an executive in the 60s. Very rare. Wow. But it prepared me for the wide world that I've lived in ever since. And none of that seemed out of kilter to me or odd or strange. And that was a huge advantage in life. So Elizabeth Taylor has kind of a resonance for me viewed through the prism of my mother. But the lyrics, I think, are great, and it's got a driving hook to the song. So there's a soft part of it and a gentle part and then a roaring part of it, which I think is great. And I think that hook and transition is really good. But I love this part, verse 2. Hey, hey, what could you possibly get for the girl who has everything and nothing all at once? Yeah. I think that's a hell of a lyric. Yeah. I really do. Babe, I would trade the Cartier for someone to trust. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
And that seems to me to encapsulate a lot of the duality of a Taylor Swift lyric.
Yeah, and this song gave me, I don't know about you, but it gave me kind of an 80s, like, Dallas, Falcon Crest, nighttime soap opera kind of vibe. Yeah. You know, so that took me back. Maybe it's because it's about Elizabeth Taylor, but it had that vibe for me. I love that Cartier lyric. I also really liked, obviously Elizabeth Taylor famously had all of these marriages.
Yes,
that didn't
and
last.
7 divorces.
And Taylor Swift is now somebody who is in a very committed relationship, very happy with that relationship, but scarred by some of her past experiences, and says, all the right guys promised they'd stay, but under bright lights, they withered away, but you bloom.
Yeah.
Which is a reference to the fact that, she has this incredible fame. Most of the men that she's been with didn't like it, couldn't handle it, ran away from it.
Well, there's literally a lyric in her previous songs that talk about he was a hothouse flower to my outdoorsman, in like talking about blooming and that sort of thing. There's so much. Major, I'm glad you brought up this song.
By the way, folks, understand this. We cannot play any of the songs. Rights and clearances would really bash my head in with a hammer because we'd have to write all these checks. So we can't play any of the songs, but you're listening. Play them for yourselves. Ride along with us. Enjoy as we discuss.
Pull up your lyric list.
As we discuss.
So I was told we could eat candy while
you can eat candy. Dig in.
It's not the first time she has mentioned Elizabeth Taylor in her lexicon.
Right. There's a Burton reference.
Burton reference in Ready For It, where she talks about being the Burton to her Taylor. That was about her previous relationship with Joe Alwyn, when she thought, okay, he can rock with me. He can do this. He can get through my fame and ride that with me. That's a story for another time.
Another podcast.
But there's so many lyrics in here that harken back to previous lyrics. One being, if your letters ever said goodbye, Cornelia Street, which you and I talked about, which is a famous song of hers about that previous relationship, where she says, if you'd ever say goodbye, I'd never walk Cornelia Street again. So there's a lot in here that, even though it's about Elizabeth Taylor, clearly a reflection of herself in some way and in some parts. One part, be my NY when Hollywood hates me. We all know that Taylor Swift had a very tumultuous portion of her life where she was canceled, where she was dealing with people in Hollywood who hated her, the issues with Kim Kardashian, of that sort. Be my NY hearkening to Welcome to New York, 1989, when she felt she was on the top of the world with that album. There's so much to dig in here, just line by line. I mean, as every Taylor Swift song has some Easter eggs.
Gabby, when she writes, they say I'm bad news, I just say thanks.
Oh my gosh, it's like you saw that I had that highlighted.
I didn't.
I do though. I for sure do. I love that line actually because it kind of shows her growth and progression as an artist, right? Like they say I'm bad news. Like don't date her, she's bad news. Like she's dated so many men and she's just like, thanks. Like, and it's just very cheeky and it's very like if you can hang with me, if you can rock with me, like let's do this. But like it's also like kind of adds into this like insecurity maybe that she has had in the past, and now she's found someone who can hang with her, right? Like can like hang with her own Elizabeth Taylor. And it's not the first time she's kind of used this imagery and these old Hollywood-esque people. I mean, obviously Elizabeth Taylor, she's referenced before. She had a song on her last album called Clara Bow, talking about how she gets compared to people in the past who've kind of been this starlet. You have that with, and she kind of runs through the lines of it. It encapsulates the album, right? Where she's talking about life of a showgirl. It's not just her life as a showgirl, it's other lives before her who have come before her,
right.
And she's looking to for either inspiration or guidance, and kind of again
the pressures, the spotlight, the allure, the false allure. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. All of those themes run through these various songs.
It's not new, right? Like women have been talking about this, and women in Hollywood for a while. She's now the person who's talking about it and shedding probably a larger light on it, an oranger light maybe.
An oranger light.
One of the things I like about this album, and I think Elizabeth Taylor is an example, is that she's always sung about her complicated relationship with fame and success and how it's so great for her in some ways and makes life so much more complicated in other ways. She has sung about that again and again, whether it was Peace, or whether it's Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, where she's recognizing she's this huge force in the music industry, but then that makes her scary and makes people run away and almost turns her into a witch in that song. Yeah. This album, she's like, yeah, I'm number one. I am, and that's a good thing. And yes, I make my money being pretty and witty, and I own it, and that's fun, and I love it. And I think that's really fun to hear as a fan. And I think part of the reason that she feels that way now is because she has a partner who is 100% behind her.
My next song is Canceled, that I love from the album. And I like this because I think there is a silken stiletto approach to the lyrics.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, I just think that there's a lot of sharpness, but it's also, it's a softish song. It doesn't come on really hard. Yeah. But the lyrics, I think, carry a lot of weight. Verse 1, but they'd already picked out your grave and hearse. Beware the wrath of masked crusaders. Pre-chorus, come with me, when they see us, they'll run. Something wicked this way comes. Deeper in the chorus, at least you know exactly who your friends are. They're the ones with matching scars. Pre-chorus, did you make a joke only a man could? Were you just too smug for your own good? Or bring a tiny violin to a knife fight? They go on and on. I mean, but if you can't be good, this is verse 3, then just be better at it. Everyone's got bodies in the attic, or took somebody's man. We'll take you by the hand, and soon you'll learn the art of never getting caught.
It's so Reputation coded, which is an album.
Please, help me understand. What am I reading?
So Reputation was the album she made after she had gotten canceled, when she had had a very big falling out with Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, because they had released an edited tape of her, and it caused just a huge uproar, people calling her a snake, commenting on her Instagram. She disappeared from the world, and then came back stronger than a 90s trend later with several albums, kind of beating her way back, saying, like, you can't get rid of me, I'm here and I'm here to stay. She has had people in her life very close to her who she appears with very frequently and is the godmother of their children, who has been going through something very public, of a very public cancellation as well. Blake Lively, namely, through the Justin Baldoni lawsuit, which is a whole other
thing. You can read
a whole
about
other
it.
thing, and it's a very, we need a whole hour to talk about everything with that. But what she's saying in here is that, I don't drop people that quickly. And as someone like her who has been through the ringer of public opinion, she's saying, people might drop you. It's going to take a lot more for me to do that. I'm sticking by your side. You know who your friends are because they're the ones with matching scars who have been through the same thing you have been through. And even in that lawsuit, just to touch on it quickly, Taylor Swift is named in it. She is someone who is going to probably have to give a deposition in that lawsuit. So that's quite notable too, that she's, subliminally, maybe not subliminal at all, but overtly saying, this is still my friend, this is someone I'm sticking by.
And it's a fact of poetry, it's a fact of biology. You have to be alive to have a scar.
Yeah, and
Dead bodies create
you're
no
not
scars.
dead yet. Yeah.
Here again,
and you'll survive. Yeah.
Living and surviving means scars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most people maybe can't relate to living clad in Gucci with scandal like her friends, but I think everybody can relate in this day and age to saying something on social media or doing something that gets a lot of blowback, that causes you embarrassment. And basically what she's saying is these things are really small. And you're getting hate for something that you probably didn't deserve. And follow me, I'll tell you how to,
you'll get tougher.
avoid getting caught the next time.
Can't you see my infamy
It
loves
evokes
company?
the kind of the imagery and the theme that we actually saw in the 1989 album with Shake It Off, where haters are gonna hate.
Yeah.
Players are gonna play. I'm just gonna shake.
Yeah.
To bring in again more Taylor lyrics.
We don't even need to play a song.
Exactly. Again, I've been at this since 2006. I mean, it's the same idea, right? Like, shake it off. Like, you're still my friend. Like, come sit with me. I've been here too before. Like,
but this seems deeper. I mean, the whole scars and not getting caught, it's like, this is next level preparation and application of a philosophy of not happening to me, shouldn't happen to you, and let's march forward with a new kind of confidence.
right.
Yeah.
That's the way it read to me.
Literally in I think it's the Look What You Made Me Do video where she's dead. Like she awakes from the dead.
Crawls out of her grave.
Here lies the
Right.
grave of Taylor Swift, and she comes out of it better. And this is kind of her message to the people going through it. Can't you see my infamy loves company? I got through it. You'll get stronger. You'll get through it. Maybe you'll learn a lesson or two. That it won't happen again. But you'll come out of this on the other side, and you'll have a friend in me through it. So.
Third song, and I was surprised by this because I hadn't heard anyone talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't part of the big conversation immediately upon the release, but Honey.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it struck me for a couple of reasons. It's got a great tune. It's very approachable. Talking about relationship, this newfound level of trust. Who's the baddest in the land? What's the plan? What's the plan? Everyone wants to know that in a relationship that is starting off promisingly.
Yep.
What's men and women, we all want to know the answer to that question. It's the immortal question. What's the plan?
Yeah.
This feels really great, but because it feels so great, I'm scared. So what's the plan?
Yep.
You could be my forever nightstand. I think that is a killer line. I think that is such a great line. Very clever, super smart, and indelibly meaningful. Later on, when anyone called me late at night, he was screwing around with my mind, asking, what are you wearing? Too high to remember in the morning. And when anyone called me lovely, they were finding ways not to praise me. But you say it like you're in awe of me, and you say it until the morning. That's some pretty good stuff.
It's really romantic. And people say that this album isn't as deep. It totally is.
It really is when you go like line by line on all these lines too, and the way that she's again calling things back. You talked about the forever nightstand. That's a callback to another song where she says, "I read all the books by your nightstand," about another person that she loves, right? So it's this idea of like settling in again, popping up here in Honey for sure.
I know. The melody is so beautiful.
It is.
Too.
Yeah, it's got a terrific hook.
It's also, we were talking about this before we went on, but just that, you can say things like, oh, honey. And it doesn't mean, it's not endearing. It's not a term of endearment. It's kind of like a aggressive, passive-aggressive way to like say, like, sit down,
Honey,
I'm about to tell
doll.
you.
Yeah.
Right, like demeaning
Darling,
in that way. And it's her saying,
those things can all be cutting and have in her life been cutting in ways that maybe in the moment she didn't realize, but in retrospect, she's fully read in on now and is a little pissed off about it.
You know what I'm curious about is her future sister-in-law, Kylie Kelsey, did an interview
A while ago.
a year
but it's pretty
ago?
recent. Yeah.
Where she was talking about the fact that she doesn't like terms of endearment like sweetheart and honey
Yeah.
because people so often don't mean it. She's from Philadelphia, and she's like, in Philly, if people say, "Oh, hon,"
Right, yeah, right.
Right.
No,
not,
exactly.
not a nice thing. And I'm so
It's like bless your heart. Yeah.
I'm so curious if Taylor was watching that and said, oh, you know, that's a good topic for a song. Like, you know, if she was inspired by Kylie to write that song, that would be really fun.
Last one, because then I want to let you guys just run and give me all the Easter eggs and all that other stuff. Eldest daughter. And Olivia, when we did the first version of this, the compact version on the takeout, you mentioned it, you're an eldest daughter. But the lyrics here are very, very striking to me. I've been afflicted by terminal uniqueness. I've been dying just from trying to seem cool.
Yeah.
You know, the last time I laughed this hard was on a trampoline in somebody's backyard. It must have been about 8 or 9. That was the night I fell off and broke my arm. Pretty soon I learned cautious discretion. Every eldest daughter was the first lamb to the slaughter. So we all dressed up as wolves and we looked fire.
I'm glad you brought it up. I have so much more to say since Thursday.
Part an exploration of Taylor Swift, part therapy session.
Yes.
They're always one
I
and the
think we're
same.
all eldest daughters here, right?
Are we?
I'm not. I have an older sister.
Okay.
All right. Well, you can get in on this too because
You produce like you're an eldest.
yes, you do. So my favorite Taylor Swift song of all time is called 7, and it's on Folklore. And I know that's a very contrarian view because no one likes 7. I mean, people like it, but
That's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut, and it's just a song about innocence and being young and losing your innocence, which as an eldest daughter, you can sometimes kind of do because there are just certain things that are responsibilities that you have to take care of when you're younger that kind of expose you to the world a little bit earlier. You lose your innocence when you're, you know, the eldest daughter. You got to take care of the younger kids, help out around the house, that sort of thing. So when she's in this,
Responsibilities fall upon you that
Yes.
you're not even aware you're supposed to take up.
Right.
But it's sort of subliminally communicated to you, you better get on this.
100%. And only she could put that in a song and so eloquently put it about losing your innocence at 7 and learning about these sorts of things, learning about the family dynamics. So when she said, you know, in this song, the last time I laughed this hard on the trampoline, I must have been 7, 8. Must have been 8 or 9. I wrote 7 there because as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, it's the same progression of her around that young age, losing that innocence, becoming, you know, the eldest daughter with all the responsibilities on top of you, and then meeting someone who can kind of unlock that happiness, you know, get you back to that innocence, that childlike wonder of what love is. You know, at that age, you wonder what your life will look like, who you'll marry, what that will all be, what they'll be like, who they'll be like. And so this is such a beautiful song to reflect back on her childhood and her position as an eldest daughter, to say, I now have that love again, that innocence. I know what that feels like, for speaking to her younger self almost. So.
Nancy?
When I heard that line, every eldest daughter was the first lamb to the slaughter, what it said to me was, you know, as the eldest daughter, you're the first you're the first kid in the family to get your heart broken.
Right.
You're the
To be
first
projected
kid
out into the cruel world.
You're the first daughter in the family to get cast out of the friendship group for no reason. And the whole family is learning with you how to deal with that, how to help you through it. Even as a parent, sometimes your kids go through these things. When it happens for the first time, you're not exactly sure how to help them through that heartbreak.
The first one with a scraped knee, psychologically or otherwise.
Yeah, and so the younger kids, they can watch and they can see, you know, what you did right, what you did wrong, so they can protect themselves a little bit. But that oldest daughter is really like the pioneer emotionally, and so that
You
now
know
you're
this
like
from
you're
experience.
like
Yes.
you're like, what happened in your childhood, Nancy? Why are you so? But it's one of my daughter's favorite songs too. So she shares your love of eldest daughter and Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
Gabby?
I think what's great about this song is it appeals to people who are not the eldest daughter, which is myself. But it's also a song about how Taylor has moved throughout the world, right? And how she has, you know, become a star, has grown up. I love the line, I have been afflicted by a terminal uniqueness. I have been dying just from trying to seem cool. If you're a longtime Taylor watcher, she's quirky, right? Like she's funny. Like she's not always the coolest girl in school. And yes, she had her squad, but I mean, she would even say herself, right? Like she's not necessarily like not something that comes naturally to her. She has to try. And so all I do is try, right? And so when you're looking at this song and thinking about eldest daughter, it is about her growing up. And I like how she then comes back to it at the very end. Every youngest child felt like they were raised up in the wild, but now you're home. It's clearly about Travis, right? Like you're the youngest child. You felt like you were raised up in the wild. He had a wild child phase. I don't know if that's what that's referencing, but that is true. And now you're home. She's saying that like, I'm your home. We're each other's home. Like we found each other. There's a little bit of a sense of peace in that.
And there is an immortal truth in this idea that in our collective memories, we remember sometime we were happy and then something bad happened unexpected. Yeah. I'm laughing, I'm on a trampoline, and I broke my arm. Like these things live right next to each other, and it's an immortal truth. It's full of literature from almost the beginning of the time that literature was recorded. It's in poetry, it's in lyrics, and it is something that almost everyone can relate to. A moment of real happiness followed unexpectedly by something that's a real drag and painful.
Yeah. And you know, the beginning of the song talks about how it's so cool now to be unbothered online. You're supposed to project this aura.
Everybody's so punk on the internet. Everyone's
so punk.
Unbothered till they're not.
Right. Everything's savage, and I'm a bad bee, and da, da, da. My daughter said, you know, oh, those lyrics are cringy, but. You know, Taylor's trying to be cringy there. She's trying to say
everybody's
that's
cutthroat
not
in the
me.
comments. Every single hot take is cold as ice.
Right. She did an interview the other day promoting the album where she said, yeah, you know, I'm using those words ironically to say this is how you're sort of supposed to be now, but that's not natural for me. And so what's great about me is I'm going to be there for you forever. Now that we are partners, I'm going to take that earnestness of an eldest daughter and be dedicated to you. You're now home and you're safe with me.
Gabby, what's the Easter eggs of it all, of this album?
Oh, my Lord. You've put me on the spot here, Major.
Taylor said there's a couple.
There's a couple.
More than 100 just in the Fate of Ophelia video.
Music video, right? Yeah. I think the chorus and the line of it kind of actually, it evokes this idea of like bad blood Taylor, right? Canceled Taylor, the Taylor who's vigilante, I can't swear, but vigilante-S Taylor. And it's evoking that kind of like, that she's saying that's not natural to her. Like she's softer than what people see, or the shell that she has to put on to protect herself, protect her image, protect her brand, right? So, and she's letting someone see that. And I love the end of it. You talked about memories. She jumps into the future. We lie back a beautiful, beautiful time lapse. So she's saying that like, it's memories, right? Like all this stuff is happening in the past. I'm seeing a future with you. And this is why, like, I've come up this way. This is how you're going to understand me. I'm the eldest daughter. This is what I've been through. But now you're joining me. Now you're home.
Yeah. Sweet Nothing. Well, to Gabby's point, there is a song called Sweet Nothing on Midnights where she talks about, you know, having a partner who just doesn't want anything from you. The whole world wants a piece of her and who she is and wants her to do something and be some way and act a certain way. And she, you know, to have someone who just wants nothing from you and it's just a sweet nothing. Like they just want you to be you. And in that song, she says, to you I can admit I'm just too soft for all of it. That's what this song also means too, of just having that softness. And even you can write a song like Canceled. You can write a song like Actually Romantic, perhaps stirring the pot on some beef. But at the end of the day, still say, actually, I'm a soft person on the inside who, you know, is hurt by the world and what the world says about me and the way the world treats me sometimes. So,
Nancy, can you imagine your life without Taylor Swift?
It's hard to, especially the last few years, actually. I mean, she's sort of been a soundtrack for our life for the past few years in particular. And what really blows my mind is the fact that during the Eras Tour, when she was performing 3 nights a week and traveling and, putting her body through that, putting her voice through that, during her 4 days off, she was writing 45 songs at least, if you put
Torture Poets and
this together,
or 31
just
with
during
that.
those 2 years. And they're some of her most introspective, heartbreaking, fun. I mean, Actually Romantic is like one of the best diss tracks I've ever heard. So, these are really, really great songs that she wrote and recorded based on experiences she was having while performing on the Eras Tour, all in the span of 2 years, is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which is probably like one of the least relatable experiences I've ever
There's some pictures. There's some pictures.
All I had to do was go listen to the Eras Tour.
What are we seeing, Nancy?
Well, that's my daughter, Lila, and I, and her best friend, Sam, in Pittsburgh. That's where we went to see the show, Pittsburgh Night 2, where she sang 7. I'm so
jealous. I'm so jealous.
And then we got really lucky that we got to go see her the following summer in Gelsenkirchen, Germany, because it is one town over from the town where my husband grew up. So we went and saw the show there with all the Germans, which was a totally different experience.
Yes?
And it was a blast, yeah.
So you saw it when it had without Tortured Poets and with.
You gotta,
Yeah. I wish,
The bridge.
I saw
to
it.
the bridge from Smallest Man Who Ever Lived.
I can't imagine.
I should have brought that video.
So
We were
jealous of you,
screaming it
Nancy.
at the top of
I was
our
on,
lungs.
I mean, just to
Say, witnessing Taylor Swift envy is a pretty amazing thing. I'm seeing it playing out right
I have
now.
a very regular conversation in the booth, right?
Yeah,
Like, this is where we
completely.
get to.
You went to Philly. You went to Philly,
I did go to. I went to Philly Night 2. I went with Julie Morse and Nora O'Donnell, and we went and we just had a blast, and it was the
That was
best
my
night.
Eras show
That,
tour,
oh yeah,
that
we
Philly
went
night
that.
too,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Gabby, as we round out this conversation, because they're telling me, okay, dude, we can do. You really want to go for 4 hours? I'm like, we possibly
Yes.
could, but there's other work that has
Yes.
to be done by all of us. Gabby, the relationship, fan to artist, artist to fan, in Taylor Swift's realm, it is totally different.
Her fans come first. And I think that is, obviously, like, her interests come first, but she is always there thanking the fans. She is genuinely grateful. She is, in the past, invited fans over to her house to hear her albums before they have dropped, right? It has always been, Taylor knows how much her success is based on the fact that her fans will stick by her through anything, right? So many people stuck by her in that year that she was essentially away from the world after the Kanye incident, right? So for her, like, fans are everything, right? And she's always thinking about them.
And fan curiosity about the intricacies of her lyrics and her life spawn more lyrics and more things to help them with their curiosity about the intricacies.
And we were talking about this earlier. Taylor Swift only shows us what she wants us to see, right? She's very careful with her image. She's very careful with, everything around her because of her past experiences, right? So if you're a fan and you've been at it for as long as we have, I can read these lyrics and hear these songs and know what she's talking about just on its face value of the lyric. I'm like, yep, I get it. She might not be talking about this, but yeah, that's what she's been going through. That's where she is now.
Yeah.
Do you ever fear, Olivia, a decoupling between your life and Taylor Swift's life, meaning she starts writing about things that are not familiar to you any longer?
No, because I think even if she did, if there was one point where that did happen, there's so much in her catalog that you can always go back to.
Right.
That there's just a deep, how many songs has she written? Or does she have?
Total?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, I don't even know.
It's gotta be.
And then you have like unreleased demos. It's like, it's
hundreds.
Yeah.
There's something for everyone, truly. There's something in here for every phase of your life, as I said. And it's fun to just watch her experience it, watch like the world's older sister, the eldest daughter experience it and go through it. And then you kind of get to have the same experiences too, like getting engaged, getting married, something she's going through now, as she walked me through all the breakups, now going into this phase. It's exciting, it's great.
The next album is going to be about planning the wedding and like choosing a caterer. And
Exactly.
picking
Like if she has any tips, let's talk.
13 is the next one, so it's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, very quickly, the numerology of Taylor Swift.
Yes.
You want to know about it?
Yes.
The 13 plus the 87
Another
of it
thing.
all?
Yes.
Okay, can I just say, like, how crazy is it? Like, her life is so written in the stars. Like, the things that happen to her, good and bad, are sometimes just so unbelievable. You can't believe they all happen to the same person. The fact that 13 is her lucky number, unlucky for everybody else maybe, it's her lucky number. Her birthday was on December 13th, right? And she has sung about 13. Every fan knows 13 is like, key to who she is. And she starts dating number 87.
Right,
and
which is
13
100.
plus 87.
I can do that math.
Keep it
100.
Even I can do that
Keep it
math.
100. Like, how does that happen? Like, if you saw that in a movie, you'd be like, that's not
No, we got to
believable.
strike that. We got to take that out. We got to take that out. Too convenient.
Yeah, it's too cute.
neat.
It's
Too
so
neat.
cute.
Yeah,
They're
and she
meant
has
to be.
lyrics too that like point to like this invisible string theory,
Yeah.
like that point to Travis. Her song 15. There's a line there that says that you'll do in your life you'll do things greater than dating the boy on the football team, which is written about the boy you're dating in high school, right? Yeah. But now she's marrying the boy on the football team, right? Like it's all coming back kind of full circle.
How about Mary's song?
Mary's
From
song,
her
yes.
very first
I'll
album.
be 87, you'll be 89. 1989. 87.
Are you a Swiftie now, Major?
So,
we've-
I would say that I am a better educated fan and I have a core appreciation. I will never be a Swiftie. I don't think I will ever reach that level of scholarship or devotion.
I think
the
the
bar
fact that
too
you're
high.
doing this podcast makes you a Swiftie a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you're there.
Yeah.
Olivia Rinaldi, Nancy Cordes, Gabby Ake, thank you so much. I just got a thing in my ear, like this very stern voice, 40 minutes. And I interpreted that in the way I've been trying to interpret Taylor Swift lyrics, like, wrap it up, bro. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.